Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about some of the things I really liked about each of the new Esperanto short films that were turned in for the American Good Film Festival. Sure, I could criticize or give suggestions of what you could do next time or what you should do or what you should have done. But what's the point of that? That's not really what we're here for. With filmmaking, there's not always a right or wrong way to tell a story. You know where maybe you could have shot it better, but for all I know, maybe some neighbor came and interrupted you, or the weather was really bad. That you had your own things that you had to work through, and this is the best film that you were able to put together, and you have no idea what we went through even to get this film. So who am I to say, I really wish it had been a little bit different? You might have made the exact film that you meant to make, and even if I didn't understand every last joke, or I didn't relate with the character because I haven't been on a similar journey, that doesn't mean the film isn't good. So I'm not going to be talking about like, I really wish you'd done this differently. I'm just going to celebrate the things that I noticed that were pleasing to me, or that I found interesting, and maybe I'll ask a few questions of my own of, I actually wanted to know this or that, and if you want to type in the comment section below and answer my questions. If you're watching this and you made one of the films, great. If not, that's fine too. But my house does a weekly event where we get together in one big room and we show the films that we've all been working on, and we get to celebrate each other, clap for each other, say great job, ask a few questions. Yeah, how did you come up with that idea? How did you get that one shot? And I see how much that encourages us and helps us grow. So I wanted to give some form of that to you. So let's get started. I'm going to go through these alphabetically. Ali Monde. I loved the special effects shots. Not everybody is doing that. You guys are clearly growing in your filmmaking skills. I'm curious, what editor did you use for this? Premiere? DaVinci Resolve? Did you do this in iMovie? How did you make this film? Because you had the planet shot in the beginning and you had the special effects of the alien voices. I thought that was really awesome. I love the fact that you used over-the-shoulder shots while filming it. So we're talking, we're looking at this person when they talk, and then we go over here and look at them when they respond. A lot of people, when they're starting with filmmaking, they keep it wide and they just see everyone talking, but it's kind of boring in that angle. So getting in there close and looking at who's talking, that's really great, and I appreciate that you guys did that. My favorite line from this was something along the lines of, "Oh really, the aliens made you the Esperanto ambassador to our planet. You've only been speaking Esperanto for 13 years though. Why would they choose you?" Which, that's a very Esperanto learner thing to do. People will learn this language for a couple months and then start telling everyone, here's what Esperanto needs to do differently. Allow me to fix the language. All right, let's all do it now like this, and you can thank me later. I'm apparently God's gift to Esperanto. So yeah, that was a very relatable moment of like, yeah, we've met people like that. So that was fun. I also love the music that you ended with. Nice peppy music because you ended with a bit of a fun twist at the end. So I thought that went well with it. Well done. I am so happy to see your team make film after film each time and try different genres and different styles out. I look forward to seeing what you guys do next. Antidoto. I really enjoyed this film. At first I was watching it and it seemed a little boring to me, like, what's going on here? Are we just watching a guy camping? And then I realized, okay, this is like a post-apocalyptic wasteland Mad Max style thing. It reminded me of the episode of Black Mirror called Metalhead, where there's a robot dog chasing this woman around, and this person's trying to just get something to this dying person. And so I really enjoyed overhearing the conversation between the other people. We don't ever see them, but we hear it and we hear, oh, we live in a dangerous world right now. This is not a safe place to live. And yeah, just having one person on screen, what a story you told. I really enjoyed it. I can see where not everyone got what you were going for with it, but I really appreciated it. I thought it was very nice pacing. What to some would look at first glance and go, boring, I'm done. I watched and I went, oh no, this is showing what life is like. Almost like A Quiet Place has a similar vibe of tension here. That's what the pause is for. It's not because you don't know how to edit faster. No, you edited this length on purpose. So I really like that. I love the ending. It's like, wait, is that it? The movie's over? Yeah, but think about it. You know exactly what's about to happen. And you can just imagine how it's going to go down. which is fun. I don't need to see it played out. I know what's going to happen, and that says that you've told a story effectively. If, oh no, if that's my response, you've done something right. So, well done. Banano-Pano. I really love the fact that we had a couple of different films this time with food puns in there. We had Eta Benjeto, Banano-Pano. I'm curious, did you start with the rhyme, or did you start with, I was already planning on making banana bread that day, and let's make a film out of it? I'm just curious, what led you to tell this story? Thought you made it clear why you're alone and by yourself in the story. You know, it can be hard, I know from personal experience, trying to find other people to work with if you're not around other Esperanto speakers. Hey, can someone act in this film with me? So you found a creative way to be by yourself, doing all the talking by yourself in this world, and it didn't seem out of place. I wasn't thinking, oh man, couldn't find anyone to act with you in this, huh? No, it made sense that you were by yourself there, and yeah, I thought it was nice, sweet, simple, and to the point. And yeah, I'm just curious what inspired you to do that, and if you just love making banana bread, but yeah, it was fun, and it looked like you were having a great time doing it. Cella Cafeo. This is another one kind of like Antidoto, where at first I was a bit confused as to why am I watching this? Come on, let's get the pace going here. This is kind of boring me a bit. Like, what, is someone going to come in and order a coffee? Are we going to interact with someone? But then I slowly realized what you were going for. It was more like a poem come to life, and it's about the loneliness, and it's about being by yourself, just working and working, and the monotony of that routine that's never ending, and wanting to connect with people, but you don't. And in a way, not seeing people come in, it was kind of like, yeah, people are ordering coffees, but you're not really connecting with them. So I don't even need to see them, because that's how alone you feel, is the aloneness that I saw there. You're just by yourself, just pouring milk, doing the steamer, all that. I've been there. I have experienced a lot of that. So especially the second time I watched it, I really, from the beginning then, was able to connect with what you were going for. And I was really enjoying the fact that, wow, I'm really connecting with this story in a language that I was not born speaking. Like, Esperanto is making me really feel some things, which is such a cool feeling there. So thank you for telling that story. I'm curious, do you actually work at that cafe, or how were you able to get that location? Because it really worked seeing you using all of that equipment. Did you have to stop filming a lot because actual customers were coming in and you had, oh, sorry, you know, I'm just curious, were there any unique challenges while filming that? Did the owner of that cafe know that you were filming there? Or like, how did that all work out? I'd be curious to know more about what was the inspiration there too, but it was really cool to see that story, and I'm glad you shared it with us. Iu Estas Tie. I really liked the way that this one was shot. The moment where the robot falls over and you see the clock in the background, but it's a little out of focus there, I thought that was really beautiful moment there. Just look at all these discarded things that are around this thing. Will it ever be found? Will it be discovered and loved again, or have companionship? You start to really connect with that robot. I'm curious how you shot it, what kind of camera were you using for it, how long did it take you to get all of the shots? I really liked the serenity, but yet it's not serenity when you're lonely and desperately wanting companionship. So one person's serenity is another person's prison or isolation. And so, yeah, I thought that was really neat that you really connect with this character, even though it's an inanimate object. What was the impetus, the beginning of this idea? Did you see that toy on your shelf and go, hey, let's have a story from this thing's perspective? How did this come about? I thought it was simple yet effective, the way you told this story, and made it seem like all this time had elapsed, when I'm guessing you filmed it in one day. But yeah, the overgrown forest that you found, that you used, looked great, and it showed just this desolation and just abandonment there that you wouldn't have gotten in every backyard you could film in. No, but this really feels like it has just been a land forgotten, which is the whole point of the story. So well done. Please tell me more about how you filmed it and how you edited all of that together. Vi Volas Danci. So I know these filmmakers in real life, and they said they wanted to write a script. They asked me for help with the translation of it. And I did that, and then later found out they had no idea that Vi Volas Danci is a very famous Esperanto translation of Do You Want to Dance, that old song from the 50s. They had no idea that they were making an Esperanto reference with their title. That was the story they were going to tell anyway, so I thought that was just a happy coincidence and really cool. So I've seen other stuff that these guys have filmed, and it's always just beautiful. It looks like a commercial for a Super Bowl or something. So it was so great getting to see them work on something that's also in Esperanto that can be shared with Esperantists around the world. And yeah, I hope that they participate again in more festivals coming up. It was also fun seeing Audrey and Isaac act opposite each other. They are a married couple in real life, and getting to see them playing a married couple in this film together, that's something that they'll be able to show their children and grandchildren someday of, hey, want to hear something interesting? We acted in a film festival for an international language that not everyone even knows about. Want to go watch it? Yeah, wow, this is weird but cool. So they'll always have that. And so what a cool time capsule for their real marriage being encapsulated in this funky artistic way. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what they do next. Espera Stelo. I am a sucker for superhero stories, especially original superheroes that people make up, so I really enjoyed this one for that reason. I mean, my latest children's book is Mini Miser and the Excess Machine. It's an Esperanto superhero story, so yes, I very much am about this genre. I'm curious where this idea came from and how much you've fleshed it out. Have you written other stories for this character that we can see more of? On your channel maybe? I don't know. Tell me what else you have planned. I always like knowing the details of, okay, so what exact superpowers do they have? And do they have to change back to their mortal form at some point? Or I love geeking out on that sort of stuff. So tell me, where'd the idea come from? What made you choose to tell this story this time? Have you been wanting to for a while there? I don't have any real experience animating stuff, so I thought that was really cool, seeing an animated story that it would have been so hard to film all of this in live action, but you were able to show stuff that would have been super expensive to do with actual, human beings on a sidewalk, but you were able to do it here. So yeah, what got you into animation in the first place, and then why this story, why this superhero? Can you tell me more about this villain and what might their next adventure be like? So tell me more. I really love superhero stories, and you sucked me in with that one in a really fun way. Eta Benjeto. I love the fact that everything rhymed in this story. Chuvia, Nemia, Secreto and Benjeto. Even the title, Eta Benjeto, it's just great. I think there's only like a dozen words in this film, and yet I get it. I understand the story, and there you go. My favorite part is at the very end, one of the actresses, you can clearly see is like starting to break character. Like, how long are we going to hold this before we're done filming it? And, oh, that's a mistake. But it's a mistake that shows me these two are having a really fun time just doing this stupid, silly sketch about stealing a donut. And seeing people have fun is just delightful in and of itself. So it was a simple short film, just all in one take, too. But you told the story. I'm glad that it wasn't just the camera in one position. It actually looked around to see where things were happening. I thought that was great. But just, yeah, you told a story, a simple one. You didn't drag it out longer than you needed to. I think a lot of times with comedy, there's a good joke somewhere or a good idea, but then the filming of it is way too long, and it's like, yeah, that really should have ended about 30 seconds sooner. This one is nice, short, sweet, and to the point, and I hope you guys make another film like this, because you clearly enjoy working with each other and just getting into hijinks together. So please make more and do this again soon. Ĝenaj Ĝemeloj. Well, this is a sample film made by one of the organizers of the film festival, and it just goes to prove that literally anyone can make a film, even by themselves. I'm curious, though. I mean, is that first brother single? The second one's probably taken, but I tell you what, ladies, get on that, because what a guy. Don't know about his acting skill, but he knows how to make an omelet, apparently. So let's hope we see more from him in the very near future. Cara Diana. I was so impressed with this film. A lot of people are making funny sketches and little skits and whatnot. You made a documentary about the love that you have for this person and how much you miss them. I love the fact that because of Esperanto, you are able to share that story and share what that person means to you with people all over the world whom you will never meet. Scattered everywhere, but they can understand the story and connect and feel what you felt, even though we're not speaking the same language that you probably speak most often in your life. We can still dip into other people's lives and connect with them and relate and go, wow, hey, I'm so sorry you lost them. I'm in a different chapter of life than you are, but I was able to watch it and go, wow. I hope I'm able to make as touching of a tribute to my loved ones, when I lose a partner someday. Like, that was really great to see. I love how many clips you were able to utilize in there. You kept it dynamic by showing lots of different meaningful moments in your past in that relationship. Thank you for just being bold and making the film you wanted to make, and not making a film, well, what film is most likely to win, or what film is most likely to be appreciated by the most number of people. No, you made the film that you felt like making, the film that you were led to make, and I want to tell this story. This is what I can't stop thinking about, and maybe other people would benefit from seeing this too. And I think that's beautiful and bold. Thank you for sharing. Kietago. I really enjoyed the journey that the character goes on, the protagonist woman in this story, of being in a grumpy mood and, what do you want? To, at the end, shouting with joy of, thank you so much for changing my perspective today and brightening my day and making me happy, talking to this guy who's a little quirky, a little unusual, a little too much energy in her mind, oh my goodness, just stop with the Esperanto already, just what am I doing here? Oh man, things are not going well for me. But just that consistent brightness and pleasantness slowly wins her over and makes her see, hey, the world's beautiful. There are beautiful things to enjoy, beautiful things going on all around us, delicious fruit to enjoy, beautiful animals to interact with. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy our life here. And I just think that's a beautiful thing to share and to show. I'm curious where the idea came from. Where did it start? Did you start with, I just want someone waking up at the beginning of their day? Or, I know, I'm going to convince someone to not be in a bad mood, or what? So please tell me more about that. I thought it was shot really well. You used as many angles as you needed to tell the story. I could see other people shooting this far more simply, but you showed stepping in the cow dung and chopping up the coconut to get to the coconut milk and all that. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see thoroughly how the day progressed and how that person's mood changed. A lot of times I'll watch a film and go, that could have been 30 seconds shorter. That could have been a minute shorter. Okay. This one, I think if it had been too short, we wouldn't have believed that the character had a chance to change their perspective and their opinion and brighten their mood. So I think it's good that we spent enough time with the characters to justify the change and the brightening that doesn't always happen immediately. It sometimes takes a while for someone to realize, you know what? Life is pretty good. Let's be happy. So well done with the shooting it and the editing, and I was able to understand everything. I'm surprised the audio was as good as it was. It looked like it was kind of a windy day that day, so I'm glad that we were able to hear everything and understand it, even though filming can often be more difficult than we thought it would be before we get in there. So thank you for sharing that, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Kiaj Ŝuoj. This was a treat to see, because you got the same actress that I worked with in Kiaj Ŝuoj for one of my bilingual films, and you got her to act in an epilogue, basically a continuation of that story. So I personally enjoyed that. Now granted, I'm not one of the judges, so I'm not giving any points. It's 5 other people who are deciding that, and if they haven't seen that other film, this film probably made very little sense to them. But hey, you went for it and you did it anyway. So sometimes a film is such that anyone can just enjoy it as it is. Sometimes the whole point of a film is, if you know what we're talking about, you'll really like it. If you don't know, you're going to be very confused. And you make that film anyway, which I like. I really like the camera work, and seeing through the stuff in the bathroom there, I thought that was really cool, how the shot, you'd think it would be more boring just to be in one room for the whole time, and without cutting anywhere to an angle, but because of the movement and because of all the surroundings and the lighting of it, I thought that was really well done. So again, this is one of the groups with friends that I know locally here in Atlanta, Georgia. So John Mark, I think you shot that one very well. Great job to you and your whole team. Kiel krei artĵurnalon. What a fun video to watch where we get to see how you make a art journal. Murtis, I am so impressed with you're constantly up to something with some new art form you're working on or some new style of filmmaking. The last film you made was all Lego animation, stop motion, and now you're doing a montage explaining how to do something. I love how you take your passion for teaching and sharing interesting things and you find an artistic way to share that. And you've made a film each time now. I'm just very impressed with you. I'm so glad that you are one of our dependable, reliable people who just keep making films, and it's not like it's always the same thing every time. It's something different, but you can see clearly your passion for helping people try new things. And hey, maybe this would be relaxing for you, or maybe this would be life-giving or fulfilling in a creative way for you to try. And you just show what you care about and what you love in a really approachable way, and you make it clear that anyone could do this. Hey, don't worry, don't be intimidated. It's a thing that anyone can try, and if it's for you, yes. If it's not, that's fine. You're not trying to impress people. You're not trying to talk them into something they don't really want to do. You're just presenting what's awesome in your mind, and people can take it or leave it. And I think that's really great and very laudable. Yeah, the time lapses, the speeding up when you need to speed up, and then slowing down when it's important to explain something is great. I could see something like this being edited less well very easily, where, okay, that should have been faster, but yeah, you clipped it along. The music was nice too to keep us engaged, to show all the variations of ways you can make things. Well done. Well done. I would say I can't wait to see what you're going to make next, but I don't even have to say that because I know you're going to make something next time, and it'll be interesting as well. So stay tuned, everyone, because I'm sure there'll be more where that came from. La Fia Ĝemela Anaso. I loved watching this film. Yes, it is one of the more simple films. It's not cinematically impressive like some of the other films are, but it was honestly delightful to watch. I'm watching a father and his two kids telling a story together, having a fun time, wearing silly costumes, and making silly puns and using wordplay and referencing things. I thought that was so fun. And even cheating by clearly you're looking at the script in that magazine that you're reading, but you're doing, hey, you did whatever you needed to do to tell the story you needed to tell without having to stop and interrupt it or keep it from being fun. I could see other teams stressing themselves out and going, no, we have to make it more complicated, otherwise why make it? No, you did it as simple as it needed to be, and you used whatever you needed to use. It wasn't until the most recent time that I watched it that I noticed when the sun comes in, he's flapping like a duck. I just didn't even catch that because I was looking at the guy sitting on the couch, but he's like being a duck there too. And you could just tell at the end with the princess coming in, like, oh, she loves any excuse to wear her dress. And you had a great time. I love that. I'm curious, who wrote it? Was it written as a committee, or was one person the writer and everyone else just said, all right, let's do this? I'm curious because I'd love to see more parent-child pairings making films like this. Again, like I've said on other films, what a great time capsule to show this fun memory of, oh yeah, we did make an Esperanto short film one time, and people all over the world ended up seeing it and laughing at it and enjoying what we came up with. So you're never going to regret that awesome experience that you guys had together, and I hope more people see that and go, you know what? Next time, let's you and me make something like that. It doesn't have to be epic. We don't have to rent some expensive camera. We can just use our phone, put it up on the bookshelf, point it at us, and see what happens. And what great proof of that you can tell a good time was had by all. La Lernanto. I love the fact that another one of Lee Miller's stories was brought to life through animation. By the way, for the millionth time, I want to make it clear, Lee Miller and I are not the same person. I'm Alexo, or Alexander Von Miller, and Lee Miller lives in Texas. He and I are not related, as far as I know. We just both happen to be Esperantists, but sometimes people get us confused. So it's great seeing another one of his stories brought to life by Simone, and I love seeing that, like, she got hooked on animation because of the first festival we did last year, and has been continuing to make new things each time, not just during festivals, but in between festivals. She's making other animated films, which is awesome to see. This one had a lot of fun spell casting, so I'm curious, how much time did it take you to do all the animation? What was the trickiest shot, or the newest thing that you had to figure out that you hadn't tried before in other animations to make this one work? And what made you pick this one? I don't know. I'm just curious what all the journey was. I'd love to see a behind-the-scenes video or interview or making of about it, because it looks very complicated in telling that whole story. But again, this would be a very difficult one to have done in live action with actual actors having to wear all these costumes. So you did it in a medium or in a form that is way more approachable, and yet we totally understand the story. We don't need to see Sir Ian McKellen playing Gandalf here. No, we get it. You're a wizard, you're the apprentice, fun. I love those kinds of stories. I just watched Game of Thrones all the way through for the first time recently, and so I'm very much in that state of mind, and I love seeing the magic spells get cast on one another. And yeah, it was a fun one to see, and I can't wait to see which story, I wonder which author you'll use, which story you will cover next in animation. La Magia Kalabaso. This is quite an adventure. I really enjoyed. I've already commented on YouTube on this filmmaker's channel asking where did this story come from, and he responded saying this is actually a local folklore legend that has been around for generations that you brought to life on film. This is probably the first time that has been told outside of just orally being told from person to person, but actually been acted out. That's a part of the history of your town's culture now. You created it. They'll be watching this for the next 10, 20, 30 years and going, oh yes, see, this is, yeah, my village. That's where this originated, this story. Watch one of these come to life and be acted out. That's so cool that you're a part of that. And you got to share a folklore legend with people all over the world. My favorite thing, though, probably about this film, aside from the fact that you got so many people to work on it together and collaborate, this might have had the biggest group of actors and filmmakers out of the whole thing, but I saw a behind-the-scenes video, and I saw how happy you were talking about the film and seeing the guy behind you editing on the computer, and how you've got a team excited to work with you and make stories in Esperanto. Make me jealous, honestly, watching that. I'm like, wow, you guys are really excited about this, and you're making more and more stuff. That's just awesome to see. I'm glad that this festival exists to be one of the things to excite and prompt that and instigate that. But clearly it's beyond that. The infection has set, and you guys are storytellers now. You're filmmakers, and you're going to be making stuff whether or not there's a festival every time or not, or that's not the reason anymore. It's the joy of filmmaking, the joy of telling stories with other people. You have such a beautiful place that you live, and you showed the mountains, the rivers, all that. It was so cool to see all of that, and I'm glad that you're showcasing the beauty that's around you and all the talent around you with all the different actors there who are eager to tell a story. And okay, you know, someone's looking for a lost goat, and we actually get to see the goat. This is the kind of story that other filmmakers, all they can do is animate it on their computer because they don't live in a beautiful place like you do, where they can actually go outside and film it. So you're very lucky in that sense that you're able to tell a magical story that others cannot tell. So please tell us more of them. I would love to hear other stories of other magical fruits and veggies that give people blessings and magical gifts. I think it's fascinating. So thank you for sharing. La Offizio. I've already seen a behind-the-scenes making-of video showing how many hours went into creating every image, every frame of this film. And I was very impressed with that. Go check that out on this filmmaker's channel. They're very impressive. I was very amazed by that. If there was a prize just for most clocks and watches used in a film, I think it would go to this one, because yeah, almost every scene had that in there. Even little things I noticed after watching a few times were very impressive to me. In the conference room, you can see just translucently through the glass how there's cubicles on the other side of the window there. There's some advanced animation techniques that you're clearly trying to incorporate and get better and better at and utilize. this could have been done much more simply, but you're pushing yourself to grow as an animator and to try new things and to not just take the easy route, but all right, what else could we do? Okay, I'm actually going to show an insert shot of the car starting itself instead of just the car bloop, bloop, going by. No, you're really doing more than most people would expect you to do for it. So that's awesome. Rachel, well done. Yeah, I think it's great to see the collaboration, other people adding their voice acting to it so that you can all work together, even if you don't live in the same town. Esperantists can work together to make these films and to make them full of a variety of talent and get a variety of opinions and thoughts and talents all put together into one place. So I hope more collaboration happens. Message Rachel if you want to be involved in the next film to see what they're going to make next. So yeah, keep on making these. They're very fun to watch. La Flughaveno. This is a nice, short, simple, sweet, to-the-point film. Some people would say, oh, come on, why'd you do this film if you didn't actually have an airport to use? Then don't have something set at an airport. To which I say, hey, I've done enough theater in my day that you don't need that. You had the headrest pillow and the suitcase there. It's obvious, okay, this is the lobby or waiting area or boarding area for an airport. You told this story. Obviously, we know what's happening here, so I'm glad that you didn't let a lack of, oh, well, we can't film in an actual cafe, or we can't be in an actual airport. You don't let that stop you. I'm loving the fact that people just tell the story they feel like telling, regardless of the story that others say they are allowed to tell because of what they have access to. So you just did it. That was great. This film, I actually had the filmmaker re-record the lines because with the masks on, it was a little difficult to tell who was talking at any given time because it was the same actor doing both characters, voicing, so it was a little hard to tell. But then in the re-record, they made it clear, okay, one person says this, and another talks a little different. Okay, now I can tell without even telling when the lips are moving or not moving. That must be that person, and now it's this person. So you were able to find a simple way to make it clear what was happening without having to refilm everything, and I love that. That we all know what's happening, and oh, La Hobito. Okay, you're reading The Hobbit. You're reading an Esperanto book. There you go. That's great. So thank you for... Oh, my light just went out. Thank you for sharing that, and I am very excited to hopefully see more films from you in the future. La Retro Nombrado. What a fun story. Again, a parent and child making a film together, telling a fun, exciting tale of, okay, we got to disarm this bomb. How are we going to do it? That's just fun. You can see they were having a good time doing this. I'm curious who did most of the writing here. What made you come up with this story? Were you inspired by a Mission Impossible movie, or what made you want to tell this kind of story here? One thing is, obvious that there's some pronunciation issues here and there. That, okay, you guys are earlier on in your journey of Esperanto learning where, yeah, it's not programon, it's programon. You emphasize the second to last syllable of every word in Esperanto. But I'm sure you're aware of that by now. I would rather people improve at their Esperanto speaking skills by making a fun film and telling a cool story and having a good time than to just sit at a textbook and go, well, I dare not speak this out loud until I make sure I'll never make a mistake. I did that for 3 years. I taught myself Esperanto by reading books before I actually spoke it out loud with another human being and went to an event where it was spoken. I missed out on some good events because I said, no, I want to wait until I'm better at this. I don't want to embarrass myself. And I missed out on some fun. Once I actually went to an event, a week later, I started a YouTube channel about Esperanto because I was so jazzed and inspired by the fun of actually using it in real life. So, hey, get yourself out there and make films and learn as you go. That's what I recommend. I learned how to roll my R correctly in Esperanto because I started making films and people kept saying, yeah, great video, great info, but please roll your R. You're not saying that correctly. So I had some gentle and often not so gentle encouragement to improve because I was making it, instead of just waiting and hoping to perfect myself before ever opening my mouth. So thank you for that fun story of, being a colorblind secret agent. Oh man, that's inconvenient at times. I thought that was a very fun little twist there, and you told the story very well. Even if there were some mispronunciations here and there, we know what was happening, we got it, we understood it, and we got to enjoy it. So thank you for sharing. I'm excited to see what exciting tale that you two come up with next. Malsankta Amo. This is another one of the example films that's not eligible to win any prizes because it was made by one of the board members of Esperanto-USA. Charlotte, thank you for making a film. I asked the board, hey, can someone else make a film instead of just me? Because there gets to be a feeling of, okay, well, these are YouTubers, these are vloggers, these are people who know how to be on camera, so it makes sense. Of course, they made a film for it, but me, I couldn't do that. I didn't want that to be the feeling and the vibe. No, everyone can and should and ought to, if they feel like it, make a film for it. So can one of you give an example? So it's not just my face all the time. So Charlotte made one and shared a song that she had written and came up with herself on this instrument that she's learning how to play and getting a lot of joy out of. And I think that film directly inspired several other entries to say, you know what? Let's do this. We don't have to have years of experience in film and TV. We don't have to have a theater degree or something like that. We can just do this and have a fun time doing it. And we can shoot something simple with just one camera angle and do it. Maybe later you can grow and experiment with more complicated stuff, but it's totally valid to share a story, to share a life experience or a new talent in a simple way and start there. So thank you, Charlotte, for agreeing to, yeah, okay. She even filmed it for me twice. She filmed it once. I said, maybe we could do better lighting. Could we maybe film it a little bit differently? Okay, fine. Let's do it. And then I really like the way it turned out. There's even a couple of clocks visible in this one now. And so, Charlotte, thank you for helping inspire other people to share their skills. That you don't have to be a cinematic genius, Alfred Hitchcock, to tell a story and to give people enjoyment and entertainment. Malzorgulo. This was fun because you can see these guys love working together and telling a story together. It felt like a group effort, a team effort of fun quips and like, hey, wait a second, I gave you that gift. Why are you throwing it in the trash? Wait a minute. And you saw the oopsies. There was a lot of fun comedic bits. You guys know how to work with each other well. I really like the dodging bit with the fight scenes. There was just a lot of fun there. You crammed so much into 5 minutes. I was really impressed with that. And you told a complete story from beginning to end, as well as relatable things that happen when you're cleaning. You're like, oh man, I feel guilty that that is there and that I haven't used this, or that, oh, I never gave that back, or whatever. Yeah, you told a relatable story. You did great pacing. You used a lot of fun camera angles to tell it. And I love that you had a strong ending with, you know, how it all ends. Go watch these films if you haven't already. I hope I'm not spoiling anything. You've had a few days to watch them now. But yeah, well done. I hope you guys make more films, and you clearly have a passion for this, and you want to do it in the most dynamic way possible. And yeah, so make some behind-the-scenes videos or interview yourselves talking about how you came up with these ideas. I think people would really be interested to see that. So please leave a comment below saying, yeah, here's where we talked about why we filmed it this way, or what we decided to do and what we decided to leave in or not use. This seems like the kind of film that you probably had even more ideas, but you couldn't fit them all in because of the 5-minute time limit, which is great. Tell me about the other ideas too, because maybe you could use those in the next film as we go along making more of these festivals. Miso Supa. This is fun. Beautifully animated, nice, sweet, simple, to the point. We get it, everything, it's as detailed as it needs to be to tell the story. You take one strong pun, play on words, and you tell it thoroughly. I love that you didn't drag this out to make a 5-minute video out of something that, yeah, you can tell, you know, in less than a minute you can explain and go, oh, I know what you did there. I see that. And it's fun for Esperanto learners to see something and go, oh, I got that joke because I know this language. That joke doesn't make sense in English, but because I know Esperanto, I'm able to enjoy a new thing in my life that I couldn't have before. That's just awesome. So thank you for making that story. I'd love to see a whole series of videos like this. If you have more, please leave a link below your video and tell them where to find those, because yeah, you seem like someone who really knows what they're doing when it comes to wordplay, especially in Esperanto. Panjo Afrika Neema Rakontas. What a beautifully shot documentary. I was blown away by the cinematography, the camera angles that you got. I had so many options to choose from when I was making the hype reel with little bits of all the films. Like, oh man, this is great looking footage here. So I love the way that you told this story and showed footage back and forth between an interview and then showing that person walking about their daily life, selling the fish and doing what they needed to do. I appreciate and respect that the filmmakers reached out and tried to make sure that they were using the best word possible for the things. What's the best word for a minnow in Esperanto? Should we use the biological term that only a marine biologist would know, or a general word that everyone would understand? We were debating about that online and trying to figure out the best way to tell this story. So I appreciate that desire to do it as well as you can possibly do it. So much talent I saw in just the way that this was shot and the way the story was told. This is one of the films where I reached out and after it was sent in and said, hey, I think it'd be even better if you re-recorded a couple sentences here and use a different word just so there's even clear what's happening along the way. And they did. And so I think even more people can understand immediately, oh, okay, so that's what they're afraid of in that village. Or, okay, that's what they're hoping to accomplish by the end of the day there. Man, we were so invested. I was watching it. I'm so invested in watching. Wow, I wonder what happens to the next that I want to see more. Please do a follow-up film about these people and what they're experiencing. You've led us into your world in such an artistically beautiful way that it makes us invested. It makes us curious in a way that otherwise we wouldn't even know these people existed if it wasn't for you. You brought them to life for people all over the world. So thank you for doing that. And man, I would love to see more from this team of filmmakers. Ŝian ŝatatan manĝaĵon. I was so impressed at how clear the audio was for this and how good the lighting was in that I could see everything and hear everything and I understood what was happening the whole time. A couple people commented to me like, why is there a couch in an alleyway? I don't understand why this film took place there. That was confusing. Well, I watched that and I go, you know what? That might have been the best location for sound, maybe the quietest place, maybe inside. Indoors would have been harder to hear because of people or machines going on. Might have also, been the best lighting. Maybe indoors would have been darker. It's hard finding lamps and things and positioning them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lights right now just to make sure that I look nice in here. Not everyone has the luxury of having a bunch of equipment, so sometimes finding a way to film outside is the best bet so that we'll see everything and everything will be understandable what's going on. So I think it's great that you told a story, you had us wondering, okay, what's going to happen next? Or what'll happen when the person shows up to have the food here? You had a plot, you had characters there, which is great. Some people, it takes a long time to figure that out. Like, okay, well, what is a film really? How do I make my film interesting? What can the plot be? And you found a plot and you told the story clearly. That's super impressive. A lot of these people who've made other films have been making films for years and have made so many films that they know just the right way to do it. Others are earlier on in their journey, and I love seeing you grow as you are getting better and better at filmmaking and knowing, all right, how long do I look at this and how long until I jump to this part of the story? That's something that only happens by doing it, by making stories and making films to tell them more effectively each time. So I really hope I see more films from you this next year and during these next festivals, because you're a very gifted filmmaker who clearly enjoys doing this. And I love seeing that enjoyment. It's clear watching the films that like, okay, this guy, he's got the filmmaking bug, and it's just exciting to see. Tiktaka Inspiro. This was the first film that got turned in. So we got an early film come right in. Nice, simple, understated, okay, a person trying to figure out what to write about and looking for inspiration for that. That's great. It's not, Citizen Kane in its complexity or Star Wars or anything, but yeah, we understood it. And I could hear what was being said, I could hear the thoughts, and see the journey, and okay, what an interesting way to incorporate a watch in a film and using that as inspiration for something that one could write about. I thought that was great. It didn't go too long. You told the story that you wanted to tell. I really respect that and admire that, and thank you for turning a film in early, so I knew, okay, films are on their way and more people are going to be turning them in soon. I hope you make more films. I love the fact that many of the filmmakers who don't maybe have access to a group of actors or an Esperanto club in their town ready and willing and eager to make a big complicated film, they still found a unique way, similar to like Banano-Pano, where, you know what, I'm going to tell a story, whether I have a whole group ready to help me, or I have to do it by myself, you found a way to talk about something that interests you and that you really care about. I can tell you really enjoy Esperanto poetry just by watching that, and so please, if you have links to some of the original works that you've written and shared, leave a link below your film so we can go check that out, because, yeah, you seem like this is something you're very passionate about. Tro Frue. What I love about this film is Greg just said straight up, right off the bat, I made this film for me. I made it because it made me laugh. I had a fun time making it. Not everyone's going to understand the references that I'm making here, but who cares? I made it for me. If they enjoy it, great. If they don't, it wasn't for them. I made it for me. I love that. I wish more filmmakers had that philosophy, because I've seen filmmakers who make a film but are trying to make other people happy, and, well, what could I have done better? What would you have liked? Well, if I had done it a little differently, would you have maybe liked it then? That's not a way to make films. You're not going to be happy doing that. You need to just figure out what makes you happy in the making of it. So I love the fact that in Tro Frue, Greg is referencing the films he's made in the previous festivals, making little allusions to other ones, where if you've seen those, then it's like, oh. And if you haven't seen it, you're like, what? But who cares? It's, a minute or two of your life. You can always watch them later and go, oh, okay, I see what he was going for there. I love the fact that Esperanto cinema, and even just this festival in and of itself, is reaching a point of having enough films to where we can reference our own films or other people's films within this festival, and those are things already worthy of being referenced, and to make a play on words or to make a fun little wink about, okay, just like in that other film, I see what you did there. That's so fun to see. So I hope we get more of those. Greg, I really am a fan of just your attitude about this contest. Just, hey, I did what I could, and I had a fun time, and thank you for helping me, folks who've helped me, and thank you, family, for putting up with my crazy hijinks. But this is just what I love doing, and that comes through, and it's enjoyable for people to watch something where the person was enjoying what they were doing at the time. So please, keep on making more films. Probably couldn't stop you, even if I tried. Vino-Edzino. Katie, I'm so glad that you have a YouTube channel where you regularly make films and videos for people, because, yeah, you know what people enjoy, and that was just fun. You took a wordplay and you held it, you hid it from us long enough. I love the length of time it took to reveal, like, oh, that was the whole point of this whole film, was for that pun. Oh my goodness, you got me. It's like a magic trick of like, what, you little, come on, but in a fun way. That's wonderful. So thank you for sharing that with us. And again, this is the kind of film where if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you'll be a little confused, but that's okay. It's not for you. It's for the people who've seen Dec Bovinoi and know what's being referenced, because they get an extra treat out of it, and they get rewarded for their vast knowledge of Esperanto culture. So thank you for participating. I know you had talked to me at one point being like, I don't know if I'm going to have time, I'm so busy with life and everything like that, but you made something, and it ended up being a delightful treat for many people who got to see that. So yeah, I just think if you have a knack for something, you have a gift for something, anytime you can do that and share that with others, the better. So thank you for being a part of Esperanto cinema and the YouTube community. If you haven't subscribed to Katie's channel yet, check the link below. It's funny, I'm ending with Katie's film, and she has her own Esperanto YouTube channel, but also we started with Antidoto, or no, I guess Alimonde, but Antidoto was one of the early ones, and Aaron, he's also a YouTuber talking about polyglot stuff and language learning. He has a channel, and it was fascinating seeing him acting and telling a story instead of talking about language learning for a change. So it's fun seeing YouTubers who are usually doing other things step into storytelling for just this festival. It's such a delight seeing people trying new things and excelling and succeeding at that. So I hope all of you keep on making films, whether it's for this festival or not, and know that even if you don't win a prize this time around, that doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean, oh man, that wasn't worth it. What a waste of time. What a waste of energy. Or, oh, well, they didn't run the contest well. I'll tell you what. Okay, well, if you can find another film contest that is free to enter that gives away 11 prizes, and those prizes are actual cash, not a voucher you can use at our store only for a limited time with all these caveats that, oh, and you have to be a member the entire time and pay us in order for being a member. Every film festival in the world has stipulations and tricky things. This one, we're not trying to take from you, we're trying to give to you. We're trying to help you, encourage you, and many of you have already, from this festival, gone on to make your own channels and make other films and try new projects or learn a new instrument or whatever because, you know what, I'll try that. What's the harm? What could go wrong? Actually, things could go really right, and I actually really enjoy that, and I want to do more of that. Great! That's what I want. I don't want Esperanto cinema to rise and fall on how much free time I have. I'm glad that I've made some Esperanto films, but I hope that there's stuff out there for me to sit back and enjoy, and I want to hand that baton off to other people. You guys, make stuff. You've shown you know how to, and you seem to enjoy doing it, so please, do more of it. Let each other know that you exist. Comment below your films. Tell us where we can find you, where we can support you, where we can encourage you. And for those of you who really have no interest in making films, but you love watching them, tell people that. Tell these people, I loved your film. Oh, I really laughed at yours. Or, oh, I connected with yours. Wow, it really touched me. Share that with one another, okay? Try to collaborate with each other. Now that we're, this far out through the COVID journey, we're starting to have big events again. Meet each other at an event, make a film together, tell a story together. You're on the same team. You're not fighting against each other. Oh, my film was better than your film. No, we're making things together. We're artists. We want the community, the culture of Esperanto, and the culture of cinema in general to grow and improve and have more things for everyone to enjoy. So work together. I'm so excited to see what all of you do in the future. Thanks for watching. Thanks for making films, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, patrons, for making this video possible.